This podcast is part of the Batman Universe Podcast Network, hosted by the BatmanUniverse.net. Check out everything related to Batman and the entire Bat family at the BatmanUniverse.net, including news and original content related to comics, movies, television, merchandise, video games, and more. Also, check out some of the other unique podcasts that TBU has to offer. Consider supporting this podcast by becoming a patron on Patreon. Even $1 can go a long way in supporting this content that you enjoy. Look for a link over at thebatmanuniverse.net to offer your support now. And now, on with the show.
I got to move you on, to the next one, but real quickly, can you just do a quick thank you to all the Gotham fans on Twitter for, supporting the show, helping to come back for final season? Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much, Gotham fans, for supporting us for season 5. It was amazing to be able to come back and to finish up the story, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
The ghost. She was kind at first, but she can be very cruel.
Jim! We're not alone. There's a crazy woman. She's killing people.
The ghost! We gotta go. She hates strangers.
There's no such thing as ghosts. We'll protect you from whoever she is.
Can't.
Why? Who is she?
She makes me call her Mother. We gotta go.
He's not lying. Come on, Jim.
Homeless cop, homeless cop, homeless cop, homeless cop. There's a mystery in town, so call the homeless cop around. Call homeless, a cop named Homeless Cop. Join Bullock and the crew, Alvarez, Harper, Lucius too, and Homeless, a cop named Homeless Cop. When the monster men won't stop, Gordon yells, "Homeless, homeless cop! Homeless cop! Homeless cop! Homeless cop! Homeless cop! Homeless cop!" So come on, it's mystery time. You can't help but solve the crime with Homeless, a cop named Homeless, Homeless, a cop named Homeless Cop. Homeless Cop, where are you? Homeless Cop.
No Man's Land. Day 200? I don't even know. It's been so long. Dustin hasn't sent any supplies for the podcast. Jen and I are here with Dawn. We're running out of food. We're running out of water. But we're here to cover Season 5, Episode 2, Trespassers. I'm Josh, and joining me is...
This is Donovan.
This is Jan.
Oh no, she's become homeless. She's going to infect us all. What do we do? But speaking of homeless, in this episode, Gordon finds out that there's a bunch of children just as homeless as he is, and and they're also, being made to dig a tunnel. That's I guess not structurally sound. So he goes to save them, but along the way, he and Bullock run into a haunted house with the ghost. But don't worry, there's nothing else supernatural in this episode because it's not like Bruce Wayne goes to park to find a witch.
A haunted park.
To find a haunted witch.
Yeah, who gives him a plant to give to his girlfriend to make her eyes go spooky.
Turn up the heat, Josh, and shivering.
Tell us how you really feel.
I told you, Dustin hasn't sent us any supplies. There's no AC here or heat. It's freezing outside. It's like 60 degrees, which in Florida is jacket weather. It really is. We kind of suck in Florida when it comes to cold. So, what do you guys think of this episode as a whole?
Jen, you want to go first?
I had some minor gripes. Not so minor. But those two things aside, I think it was two things. Did I complain about two things? Or one thing? I think it's the one thing. That one thing aside, it was a really fun episode. It was... No, I didn't. I complained about one thing. The other thing was just, ridiculous. This whole episode is so ridiculous. I can't. That's how I feel about this episode. I can't.
I've seen worse. I did think this is kind of lame.
I'm sorry.
I mean, no, it's okay. It's like it wasn't awful, but like at the same time, there was an element to me where it's like, are you serious? You know, I do get the whole, you know, there are people taking advantage of the disenfranchised in Gotham, so Gordon and friends must help them out. But I do not respond to how cartoonish the gangs are. Like, Gordon's mine, you know, and I'm wearing like a Dio de los Muertos mask and all that kind of stuff. And okay, Gordon just shoots that person's face off. Ivy is haunted and doesn't change.
She was already a skeleton, Don. He had no choice.
Yeah. I don't know if I responded to really anything besides Bullock's turn as Shaggy Norville Rogers in this episode, which was amusing.
I'm sorry.
I mean, like, that wasn't really like the mother from the comics, but I don't like the mother from the comics, so who cares? So that was amusing, but otherwise, this was sort of like I didn't find this as engaging as a previous episode. Although it is just interesting, kind of seeing like, you know, the continuing how they're handling Barbara is interesting, but like otherwise, I think probably Josh liked it the most out of all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it a lot more in my second viewing than my first viewing because, and I guess we'll get more into it when we do the plot by plot discussion and stuff. But it opened up the world of No Man's Land and just like the danger of something as simple as like going outside from territory to territory. So in that aspect, I liked it. And it's in my top 2 of the season so far. You know,
it's in my top 2 of the season so far.
Oh, hi, Sponge.
Wow.
Well, the joke was that only 2 have aired, but you know.
Yeah, my face right now.
Oh, Don and me, whenever we talk about Gotham, like, he uses the SpongeBob meme on me, and like, especially if like something stupid happens, like, you know, this episode Gordon learns how to fly, you know, and I'm like, and Don's like, Gotham's a good show, you know, like imitating
because I'm so salty.
I don't understand.
Oh, you haven't seen the SpongeBob meme?
It's the one where like he's like quacking like a chicken, and like the text is like inverted with lowercase and uppercase letters.
If you're mocking somebody, like, you use that SpongeBob meme. So like, if
okay.
I say,
so here's the thing: you said SpongeBob meme, and then I'm sitting here like, okay, I don't actually watch the show, but these are the pictures I have seen. Which one are they talking about? and then you describe the meme, and then I'm like, okay, that one. You need to be more specific.
The episode of SpongeBob where like Bikini Bottom becomes a no man's land, and him and Patrick are forced to like rescue the refugees from the Krusty Krab.
SpongeBob, it's a ghost.
Oh, Patrick, there's no such thing as ghosts. Yay!
You guys keep forgetting I'm old. I'm so old.
Let's talk about Ivy first, I guess. Peyton List is back, and she's on the floor because, boy, is she tired. I'm glad that they did Ivy in Robinson Park, and that is not a direct adaptation of like what they did with her in No Man's Land in the comics, because like, yeah, Clayface was involved and stuff like that, but like, it is somewhat close because in the comics, Batman goes to Robinson Park, and like Poison Ivy is, like, basically
she's
being
hurting
held
children
captive. There. Yeah, she's and there's like they use like salt against her and stuff like that. From what I remember, I read it again this summer.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't know all of that.
Yeah, he doesn't get like a magic like plan from her to heal Selena, but and I was a little amused by Selena's like little closing monologue about Ivy at the end. She's like, you know, it doesn't matter if she's Maggie Gaya or Peyton List. To me, she'll always be Claire Foley.
Yup. That she will be.
I was expecting a conversation on that. I liked how ultimately villainous she was. I just felt the whole thing with like, you know, she's the witch, she's haunted, and she'll kill. I just thought that was a waste of time. Honestly, personally.
But remember, always remember, he had to go to London to get her.
Yeah, Jan was like saying in the chat that like before we started recording that this looked just like London.
No, not it looked like London. Like they were just straight up. They sounded like they were from. It's like, can I have some more? She's a witch. We have to ban her. I was like, what? What's happening?
They've been cut off from the mainland so long that they don't know what country they're in.
Exactly. I was like, where are these accents coming from? Are you with her? And I'm like, what? This wasn't New Jersey. Like, everyone else talks normally.
I have to go back and listen to that because I did not notice that, but now that you're saying it, I am like, oh yeah.
And they had like the little cabbie hats on and the vest, like they just came out of Newsies.
Oi, 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 oi.
Consider yourself. Oh, mate.
I think they actually had pitchforks too. I was like, okay.
They did have pitchforks. No, they had a shovel. No, wait.
Kill the beast.
No, that was the kid in the thing. That one. They had that one big kid, and then all those little children. I was like, what happened to the other teenagers?
They're eating food.
We were gonna get you hyped up on these drugs.
They all got shot.
Yeah.
Like that one big kid was about to be.
But yeah. Just that accent. I was just like, what is and I was like, maybe I heard it. And then I go back, and then they're still using it. And I was like, okay, I didn't mishear this. And every time we go back to that scene and they're talking, I'm just like, okay, I guess. Sure.
It was pretty bad.
It's very, very bad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that we revisited Ivy because, like, you know, I liked Peyton List last season, so I was hoping that we would at least, like, with 10, which is now 12 episodes left to go. I'm going to be saying that, like, every episode. Like, with 10/12 episodes to go, like, you know, I wanted them to do Ivy again, and, you know, this may be her last hurrah, this may not be, I don't know, but
she was really good in this one.
Yeah. I've never hated Peyton List as Ivy, and like that stuff like, you didn't have to kill him. I wanted to.
Yeah, this is not the sympathetic, like, you know, she's a hero Ivy that they've been trying to push for the last couple of years. This is like, you know, ferocious, like, you know, man-hating, evil woman Ivy who proliferated the majority of her character existence, which I like.
And I'm glad that she was the witch and not like some stupid Hugo Strange Indian Hill magic thing.
Look, if they went into Robinson Park and they opened the door and it was Hugo Strange in a green dress and a wig, I would have been fine with it.
Oh my god. It's BD Wong and he's dressed as Alphaba.
Exactly. And he's like, the park has changed.
It's changed me, Bruce. It will change you too.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, BD Wong could do anything in that show. He could be like, I'm Tabitha and Butch, and I'd be like, okay, cool, we're good here.
When they were murdered, their souls went into my body, so now they're together forever.
He turns around, and then on the back of his head, instead of Voldemort, it's Lee. I don't know where I am right now.
Every scene is, what if Hugo Strange was in this scene? Oh, I'm doing this right now because I don't know what else to do.
And no one cares because
he hasn't even been on the show this season yet, and we're all like speculating. Listeners, you did not hear like our pre-show discussion where we were just like looking at Hugo Strange's hair and like speculating on him changing Lucius Fox's race and stuff like that.
Well, I think the question stands. Like, I would have been fine not seeing Ivy in this season. Like, I feel that, like, you know, she kind of wasn't she supposed to leave Gotham well before No Man's Land? Like, didn't she leave the city?
I don't think she said she was leaving. She was just like, "Oh, curse you, Selena," and like we didn't see her again.
Yeah, that's what I don't remember her actually leaving, and even if she did say she was leaving, I mean, it doesn't matter on this show.
That's true.
But it's consistency, other than like constant disappointment.
And honestly, we need someone to be Ivy for more than a season. I mean, yeah, I guess Claire Foley got to be her for more than the season, but you know what I mean. Like, it's
another
especially
actress.
like, well, especially since they like went through the trouble of recasting her yet again. Like, to go through all that trouble to recast her and then just have her for one arc last season would have been a waste. So, if this is the final word on Ivy, I'm okay with it and where they left her. The comic book fanboy in me would have wanted like Bruce to make a deal with her to like, you know, make produce, you know, like they did in the comics, because that's what Batman does with her. He's like, all right, I'll let you like have the park, but you have to like grow food for the people and like and let us like pick it up once a week or something like that, which would solve the problem from last week where like, you know, cut the rations down to like, you know, a quarter ration, except for me. I get them all.
His hair needs that nutrients, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that again. Only Lucius' hair looked like he was, you know, in a no man's land. Everyone, you know, Gordon's hair was, you know, taken better care of than his own housing, you know.
Because I'm worth it too.
Yeah.
And then Selena, what did you all think of Selena and her healing and her eyes and all that?
I liked it. Selena had a very small role in here, and everything she did was still consistent with everything else, so there's nothing to complain about there. And she gonna be bad. She gonna be a bad girl.
And that scene that she references of like Claire Foley Ivy, that was an actual scene from like season 1. Like, you remember that scene, Dawn and Jan, where like
she was cold and her parents said, not really.
It's when they wound up in Barbara Kean's apartments. Like,
yeah.
Because I remember that was when like I like basically like quit Claire Foley. Like, and on this podcast, I was like, oh, okay, she's not convincing, because she was like, I'm just cold as all, Selena.
Oh,
and they like went to Barbara Kean's like empty apartment for like 5 or 6 episodes, and like Barbara comes back drunk and like sees 2 like teenage homeless girls like eating Fruit Loops, and she's like, where's Jim?
Because Jim's a pedophile.
Which is probably okay.
Ivy did try to sell that to him, remember? Like, Ivy's like on the phone like, you want to talk to Jim? He can't come to the phone right now. He's making love to me. And like Barbara got mad.
Yeah. See, Poison Ivy is pivotal. She basically helped Barb down the spiral of crazy.
She's a Lee she's a Lee Gordon shipper.
Basically.
I don't know. I did kind of like how, yeah, like you said before, she didn't want to help. I did not want to help Selena, and I actually forget how Bruce convinced her to help her out.
Oh, he just basically said, "You're saying that you're feeding the Robinson Park or whatever and making it better and stronger, except it smells like death here instead of life. So you're not really doing a good job." And then she was like, "He's right."
No, you're not doing a good job.
Here, take this, you bitch. Is this made with human blood? Just take it and get out. Also, she might die. Whatever, I don't care.
Whose lip gloss did you like better, Jan?
Yeah. I do like Bruce is like, how do I know if I trust you? She's like, I don't know. Oh, by the way, the more it's left out in the open, like the sooner it's gonna like not work anymore. And Bruce like runs as fast as he can, like yoink.
He does. I did notice that this time around. And
there's a lot of yoinks.
And I kind of liked how like the camera left Ivy kind of like, you know, kind of diagonal, kind of, you know, kind of with a Dutch angle. She's like looking up, like you don't know, you know, what she'll be up to next time. It's like, what's Poison Ivy thinking? So I thought that was kind of neat.
The United
sweet,
Underworld.
Sweet bat ass.
Nice ass.
They're still the same age. They're still the same age.
And she has kissed him.
Which was like, she's like, boy, and I was all like, who are you? Are you Kratos from the God of War?
Oh no, the park. It's changing me. I'm changing actresses again.
And then she like flies out, and she does like some like backflips and shoot things because she's turned into Mila Jovovich, and she's shooting seeds.
Ivy is evolving. Ivy turned into even older Ivy.
Ivy turned into Ivysaur. Ivysaur.
God. Well, that's what makes sense. Like all those vine attacks. It's like basically, I think ultimately I have to say that, like, you know, Peyton List does the best that she can, and she almost justifies her being in the show. But like, I feel like Ivy was probably in this final season. I think Ivy is probably one of the show's larger villain mistakes, and that's saying a lot.
Really?
In the final season, in this season, or in the last season, or in the series as a whole?
As we were barreling down to the finale, you know, and we're reanalyzing, like, these are the final stories of these characters. Like, judging from this second episode, and kind of thinking about Ivy contextually, I would say that, like, she was one of the show's larger failures. Because she was in the first episode.
Okay, so you're talking about, like, all of them, not just this last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree with that. But I will say I do like that they did a whole callback to the fact in season 3, Maggie, like, Selena, like, almost died or something, and then Maggie Ivy put like a whole bunch of plants around her to bring her back to life. So that's when he's like, "Oh, it's the witch." I was like, "It's probably poison ivy." And they went with it.
Oh yeah, when the Bruce clone attacked her.
Yeah, it's a Deus Ex Machina that works.
I love how you called her Maggie Ivy. Like, yeah, we have Claire Ivy, Maggie Ivy, and Peyton Ivy.
Yeah.
It's almost like, you know, this show's version of Catwoman from Batman 66, how like she was 3 different actresses.
We all know which one was best.
Of course, let's all say it at the same time, and then like we each say like a different one. What? This podcast is over.
I'm pretty sure if you say anything other than Eartha Kitt, you're wrong.
I actually have no horse in that race.
In regards to what?
Which Batman 66 Catwoman was the best?
I mean, everyone tends to say Julie Newmar, and you know, Lee Merriweather was only in the film. I like Eartha Kitt because I think Eartha Kitt had that like feline quality the best.
She purred.
Right. She was more villainous, whereas Julie Newmar was honestly kind of just like a woman kind of trying to attract Batman. Where I thought that Eartha Kitt was a bit more deadly, I think.
I have no horse in the race. But on the subject of Catwoman's, I mean, I really don't have a lot to say about Selena at the end with her eyes and stuff like that. Like, we all knew she was going to be able to walk again, so, you know, I guess this is as good of a way as any.
I really liked how they did it, though. I really liked that because when Poison Ivy did it the first time, it was, like, stupid. But when she did it this time, she was already, like, mutated to the point where she was actually talking to the plants, and they basically, you know, helped her understand what was happening and what to do, versus her like, I did a lot, like, I just found all these plants and they'll heal you.
It was I don't know.
But in this context, the way that it was done was it made more sense logically versus how she did with plants in the past.
Mm-hmm.
After she got that Chinese juju juice.
Which ones make me stronger? That's dangerous stuff. It's too powerful for you. It'll get in your blood, change your DNA.
Wow, you can memorize the scene.
It's because I used that clip in my Top Gun intro for the end of the season.
And she did that because she was like jealous that Penguin didn't want to hang out with her anymore.
He was trying to get taken seriously, and like, yeah, first Penguin rejected her, and then like the Sirens were like, all right, we're the new Sirens, and Maggie Gay is like, the new Sirens. You're all under arrest. Simpsons reference, but anyway, like they wouldn't let her like join the new Sirens.
Yeah, which was stupid. but I guess I just needed less people, which is why Tabitha disappeared till like 5 Mondays later.
Speaking of that, I thought it was weird how they referred to it as like, Barbara sure is sort of after what happened with Tabitha. He's like, you mean when Tabitha was killed by Penguin? Like, Tabitha didn't trip and fall down a well. Just say that she was killed.
Yeah.
Did that strike anyone else is like odd? It's almost like that like the censors couldn't say that she was dead.
I'm
honestly, I just glossed over that part, mostly because involving Tabitha's name makes me angry at this point.
Jan is the Barbara.
Yes.
She's gonna be all angry.
Yes, everybody get out! Get out of this podcast! Get out now!
I still say that her whole nightclub thing is stupid. I really, really do. It's like, I get that there are some spots in Gotham that are you kind of like, I suppose business as usual, or at least better off than others. But I don't know. It's I don't want to say one more explanation because then Jen will yell at me.
They played Ring of Fire, which is one of my favorite songs.
I totally forgot. Like, I think I blacked out in memory that she also has the League of Assassins women with her. Because I was like, how is she even keeping... Oh,
you didn't just black that out. Like, the show has done, like, a complete U-turn on that once again. Like last season did not happen for Barbara at all.
I mean, we saw them...
No, she has, like, girl gang now, which is why she has power.
But if you missed last season, you would just think, oh, she made her own, like, girl-only place. Like, you have no way of knowing that, like, that's the League of Assassins and, like, stuff like that. It's
true. There's no reference to anything in the previous season.
And her whole, like, ending scene, which went over, like, a fart of season 4, where she's like, from now on, all the men will die. Like, she's like, okay, men could live, just, unless they're Penguin. Yeah, Barbara, this episode, like, not only are they, like, completely reversing that last season, you can see them trying to, like, redeem her since they realized that this is, like, last season, and, like, they probably have to restore canon by, getting her and Jim together again, because we've already seen that promo of them kissing, and like it's not going to be very believable if like Barbara is still like castrating men and like having her hand glow and stuff like that. So
yep.
It's
damn it, I hate that. I hate when you reference that happened.
Yep. I'm just gonna. Why do you hate us?
That was the thing that happened. That was like last season was not a dream. Barbara Kean.
No.
Comics 500.
Don't do this.
Barbara Kean from Detective Comics 500. Barbara Kean from like that World's Finest issue in the Golden Age, where she's like, "Oh, Jim, you must drive me to my friend's house." Like Barbara Kean, like who was waited on by Finley the Butler in that random Batman issue, became leader of the freaking League of Assassins and like lover to Ra's al Ghul. That's a thing that happened. I can't. That wasn't a dream. That wasn't a hoax. That wasn't an imaginary tale.
You're the worst. You're the worst human.
I didn't write the episode.
Yes, but you keep bringing it up.
because it fascinates me that it happened, and it fascinates me even further that like the writers are like trying to sweep under the rug. Would you think that that's accurate?
I don't know if they're trying to sweep it under the rug.
Yeah,
they're just not referencing any of it.
Yeah, they're moving away from it because, like, she's alone all the time. Like, you would have thought that, like, when she showed us to save the day at the end, her girl gang would have shown up, and then, like, she would, like, walk out of the shadows, like, it was me, Gordon. Me and my female fury saved you behind. But no, it's like her on her own, which, yeah, with the Barbara mobile, which I forgot that she had.
Twitter called it the Babs Mobile when like the photos got leaked during filming because
Twitter's more clever than I am.
Well, because whenever like they're not filming on a soundstage at Steiner Studios, like they have to like rent out streets in like New York and film. So that's why like a lot of the photos that get leaked are like stuff that like happens on streets, because like the mutant leader fight from the next episode, and this was another one of them, because
Hey, guys.
they can't block people from like seeing that stuff. Like I'll talk about in like a few weeks, like when I just like randomly ran into them filming episode 7 in New York during New York Comic-Con. That was, and anyone could have like walked by. They don't have like barriers or anything like that. Like you can't walk into the shots, but you can like see what they're doing. Like anyone with foot traffic can see. So that Babs mobile was like leaked, and people were making jokes. But Gordon's probably never been more attracted to her. Like, a car with a gun? Oh my god.
I could kill 50 Marios with this.
Can you imagine if I would have shown up at Lee's honeymoon in that car? That would have been so...
Lee, I've come back for you. I mean, I'm here to say...
Yep,
You blew that whole deck off, Gordon. Yeah, I totally did.
Did either of you read Batman and Robin Eternal?
Yes.
So, like...
Yes, I did. You forget.
I do forget.
You forget who you're talking to.
I did
I
forget.
read Batman Eternal and Batman and Robin Eternal.
So
what do you do now?
So you are so you are familiar with Mother and Orphan as like concepts. Someone's letting air out of tires.
Jan's a balloon and somebody like popped her.
I did not like it in this comics, and like I liked how campy they were in this episode. What the point of this was, like, just to kind of say, like, what were your expectations versus the reality?
This is pretty much what I was expecting. I would have thought that they would have been used more based on how they were set up in that, teaser for the end of season 4. But
true facts.
And by the way, like, I want to go back to like, the freaking articles from like May, which Dustin, we even talked about this on the podcast. We're like, this is definitely where they were like, Orphan, that means Cassandra Cain's coming on the show. No, she's not,
Sorry.
folks. Like, people were like, we're gonna get Mother and Orphan, and it's gonna be just like the comics. And it's like, no, it's gonna be that little teaser that they did with like the little boy who I remember like arguing maybe he could be Martine, but as we see this episode, he was not Martine.
Morgan Freeman's voice overlay. He found that he was not Martine.
Hey, whatever. I'm not like that forever. He was not begging to be Martine. I was just like, I'm not going to immediately dismiss that it's Martine.
Why are we mentioning that kid who was like on 3 episodes of last season all the time?
Because I love him, and he is a precious child who plays
4 episodes, Dawn.
Would totally
he was in the intro for
somebody.
a 4th episode where Riddler almost blew him up.
True facts. Fair enough.
I mean, and in fairness, he was like a pivotal plot point. He got like Penguin arrested for, like his own murder.
That's true.
The Mother and Orphan thing was okay, and I kind of like the whole something as simple as going to like the other side of town. Like Gordon and Bullock almost like died by like 2 different gangs, and then like Mother and Orphan. Like, it shows you just how deadly No Man's Land is, this like post-apocalyptic world. So I liked that. And of course, like the Bullock like Scooby-Doo jokes, which just like write themselves. Like,
well, that's really.
It's a ghost.
Well, he's like, but he is. We're not making this up, people. If you've not seen this episode, he is like shaking in his boots. He is nowhere. He is not even kind of a cop in this episode. He's Shaggy.
Not even trying. Yeah.
And then Gordon says, like, don't worry, there's no such thing as ghosts. To a grown man.
Well, in fairness, Bullock has seen a lot of shit the last like 5 years.
True.
He's seen like people rise from the dead. He's seen like mind control. He's seen Alice text viruses. So like, yeah, maybe there is ghosts.
We already had like a ghost episode on this show. It was Penguin, right? Wasn't it? Oh, it was the ghost.
Yeah. They tried to trick Penguin into thinking that his dad was still alive or like a ghost or something. That was the episode. It was actually called Ghost because that was the episode where you like changed the course of this podcast by not only doing the Scooby-Doo intro, but like that Scooby-Doo intro changed like homeless cop from like it changed homeless cop from like a title that we give Goran to like a completely like separate like character. Like that's Homer goes, that's my pal. Homeless cop. Like that's when homeless cop became homeless.
Don't
homeless
pin this
cop.
podcast on me.
I don't know,
You
man.
know what you were doing. It was your
Just
play.
as excited as he was.
That is true.
And you texted me when we were like watching this episode, and you said, "Okay, that's it. We're doing a Scooby-Doo intro again." When like Bullock was like doing all that stuff.
I did. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you did. You're like the ghost, the thing, Bullock screaming. That's it. We're doing a Scooby-Doo intro again. Yeah, I mean, I thought that Mother and Orphan were kind of underutilized in this episode, but otherwise, you know,
They serve their
purpose. Yeah, exactly.
And what purpose was that?
But I really believe that it would have been a lot better if she tried to take the other kids. That's where I thought this was going.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it's like, oh, hey, look, it's Crazy Lady for like 2 seconds. Goodbye! And the purpose was to make, you know, Bullock super comical, I guess. I guess to cut the severity
The purpose was
not the severity, the grittiness of the episode.
The purpose was to like show how dangerous No Man's Land is, and to also like, you know, make Gordon and Bullock's escape with the orphans not like so easy. And she's like, I found him. He was starving, barely alive. And I'm like, I don't know. That kid looks like very like well dressed and like groomed. And,
Yeah, it's been
fine
3
clothes.
months. You don't know when she
guess.
found him.
Well, and
And
Bullock's
she's been
like,
feeding him people.
yeah, okay. I was wondering about that. I'm like, wait, are they eating people? Because Bullock's like, she takes their stuff and then burns the bodies. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, yeah, she's burning them, but I got the impression that those people were being like cooked.
Yeah, I mean, if he's that fat, they're definitely eating something. And
Well, and there was like
pig.
there was dismembered body parts like on the table, and I was like,
Yeah, and Detective
why
Harvey
else would-
Bullock was like, "Oh no! Oh!" After 5 seasons,
He's like,
Shut up.
Jim.
I cannot with people.
Great, I would probably say that, but I'm not a cop who's fought supervillains. I was just so surprised just how like Hanna-Barbera-esque it became, and I love that for it.
So yeah, and then they're all at the Haven and at the end and safe with Barbara saying, "We have unfinished business, you and I. Unfinished business named Batgirl."
Okay.
Still think I'm crazy, Jan?
Yes.
Can we? Okay, we should talk about that bit. It's a little convenient that like, oh, here's the answer to all our problems. This Haven, everyone can come here, and you know, I'm sure we'll run out, but we'll deal with that, and we'll deal with that. Like, which there's no implication that they'll deal with that anytime soon. Like, I do remember like when I first saw that, I was like, really? Like, 2 episodes and like, you know, your problems are solved, Gordon. Like, I thought that was kind of deep.
I missed that completely.
I don't think it's the solution
What is it that
to
you were
all their
talking about?
problems.
Just the whole Haven idea, and like that felt like a really cheap and easy way to like, you know, alleviate them of their problems.
Some of their problems, they said they said it would be filled by sundown.
Well, and also they still don't have like an unlimited supply of food, and like there's, you know, gangs. If you like cross the street, you're like gonna get like eaten by Mother and Orphan.
Also, where the where the hell did they get that? All that block of land.
Yeah, what?
They just found that? I don't know, like that untouched strip of land.
What do you think Lucius has been doing this whole episode?
Putting Jerry curl into his hair.
Soul glow.
Yeah, exactly. Drippy drip.
Because you're worth it too.
I can't.
I don't think it's the solution to all their problems. I think it's just, and
it was.
It feels like a Band-Aid. It's basically like a resting point.
It feels like a save point. It's like, thank God, we can rest here for a little while.
Well, I mean, there's stuff in the promos. Like, there's a shot in the promos that looks like things might not be okay there forever, but it's a promo. It's one shot. I don't know.
It's like, I get that, like, they can't do the same plot all the time, but like, and I'm sure they explained this episode. Maybe they didn't. Where did that come from? Why was it just up for grabs? After 3 months,
it's a trap. Like Penguin,
I have no idea.
put it there.
It just came out at the end of the episode. I was like, oh, okay, you found a hotel tenement or a apartment thingy complex area thing for all these refugees, and then. And then a lady comes out of nowhere with her 2 kids and delivers the most wooden thanks. Thank you, Jim Gordon.
Or wait, he's not. He's Captain Gordon now. I forgot.
Captain Gordon. Thank you, Captain Gordon.
Yeah.
Oh, my life has been saved thanks to you. We had no hope. I was like, Lucius.
I totally built this. Lucius is sitting there looking salty behind him, like, wow. You're welcome.
I know. I was like, hold on. Lucius just told him about this place. Why are you thanking the guy who just learned about the place?
The white man
privilege.
Who walked in with his perfect hair. It's like, thank you, Gordon. And Lucius is there. It's like, what's wrong with my hair?
Well, let me count the ways. I've been waiting for you to ask me that. And he pulls a list from his pocket.
I was like, wow, this was really horned in. Like, terribly so.
This show does try to do a lot of lip service towards Gordon's such a hero when all he does is kind of just shoot things. So it's not like he
all he kind of just does.
This time it was Barbara.
Is shoot things.
I mean, he does save people, but like most of the time, it's like he's like just a guy with a gun, and like Gordon, you've delivered us. Like Lucius opened like Gordon just got there. He's just learning about this.
In fairness, he did save the orphans.
He did. I will give him that much.
I won't, but you already have, so let's move on.
Technically, he didn't even save the orphans. It was Barbara.
but he got them that far. Like he got them out of the place and everything like that. And he.
I mean, you're right. He wasn't passive in this episode, but he didn't build a goddamn haven.
He has a reputation because when that kid found him at the end of the last episode, he's like, Detective Gordon, where's Detective Gordon? And at the beginning of this one, when he's at his doctor's checkup, he's like, you're gonna save my friends, won't you, Detective Gordon? It's my job.
Did he just turn into Scooby? Rah-rah.
Sure, why not?
I don't understand what just happened. Oh my god.
But I'll say it again, though. Barbara's Holt, we have unfinished business, you and I. Am I crazy, Jan? Huh?
I'm pretty sure that is not what she was referring to.
Well, I mean,
what is she referring to?
They're gonna kill Penguin. She was talking about it the entire episode.
But the promo, when they're kissing and everything. I feel like the show
I didn't see the promo you're talking about. I've only seen...
We talked about it last week.
For the next... What?
I know we talked about this last week, that there's a trailer for the season where they're kissing. We talked about that, didn't we?
He could just be dreaming.
Okay. Well, there is footage out there. I don't know. I feel like the show is trying to pave the way to put them together based on that new stuff.
Do you think that makes sense though? It's after all they've been through, after all they've done, can they really go back?
Don, I want you to take a moment. I want you to take a deep breath. Search deep down in your soul, and think. How much of this show makes sense when it comes to Barbara Kean?
Well, and
also
too.
Jim Gordon.
Gordon has stuck his stuff and
Stuck his
women who have
GCPD.
done. Yeah, he has. I mean, Sophia, Lee after she went crazy.
Sophia was the most like galling.
Yeah.
We had to move on, but I don't think I ever got over that.
So much.
It's funny because when I was in LA this last week, one of my editors for another website that I work for, I don't know if he wants me to specify who he is. So we were talking about Gotham, and he's like a few years behind. He was like asking me questions, and we were like talking to him, and I was like, oh yeah, every single girl that Gordon's been with, except for Valerie Vale, tried to like destroy the city. And he like looked at me horrified. He's like, wait, Lee tried to? They like made Lee. He says they made Lee that evil. And I was like, oh, yeah, she released a virus. But in fairness, she was, like, mind-controlled by this other virus. It's complicated. And he was like...
Same virus.
He was like, Marina McCarran tried to, like, destroy the city. I was like, yeah, then she became a crime boss and had sex with the Riddler. And he, like, looked at me, like, because he had not seen the show since, I guess, like, season 2. And he looked at me like he was not sure if I was joking or not.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
That was a fun conversation.
Also, Bab's hand started glowing.
You're fired.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like now you're just trolling me. No, I was.
But okay, so John Stevens gave like an interview in October where he said that like Barbara was going to be like a redemptive character by the end of the show. So like between that interview, that promo and stuff like this, I feel like, and her like saving them, Han Solo from like the Death Star style, like you're all clear, homeless, now let's blow this thing and go home.
I got one. Good job, Jim. Don't get cocky.
Chewbacca sitting next to Babs on her Babs.
Shut up. I can't deal with you right now.
We're not a very good podcast. Okay. We're not talking about the show at all. What if Chewbacca was with Aaron Richards? Is this the best we got?
I'm done.
Punch it, Chewie.
Podcast canceled.
Okay.
This is doing the right thing.
I don't know if it's too early, and I don't know if it's too early in the season to ask this question, but this is something that Don and I have like speculated over for months. But like, okay, let's say Barbara Kean, like, since she was arrested in season 2, like, and then Strange, cleared her after he didn't give her ice cream therapy, but like when like she woke up from her coma and he cleared her. Since then, what crimes has she committed that you could like theoretically charge her for, that there's like evidence to charge her for if she's a jury? Like, I'm trying to see like what does she need to be redeemed from? Like, what crimes has she committed? And I said to Dawn, I really want Jan here for this conversation because
murder, multiple counts.
Okay, who is she? Who? I know she's killed people, but like, who specifically has she killed anyone that's innocent or that wasn't trying to kill her since season 2? And I know that Jan is always good at like pulling things that like Don and I miss, like Butch's, erectile dysfunction.
Oh, she hadn't said that.
Wait, erectile dysfunction? She tried to kill erectile dysfunction?
No, but I was saying like
I'm just
Jan is
messing with
good.
You. I blocked out 90% of all of her stuff. I just know that she has definitely killed people.
But I feel like the people
Butch.
that she's killed have been criminals.
Doesn't matter.
Like,
that's still murder.
Right, but it's like
absolve her.
I'm not saying it absolves her, but it's different than her like executing, like random guy on the street.
Well, more seriously, how, like when she shot Butch, no one, like Gordon wasn't there to see that, so like he couldn't.
Well, and also, and Butch came back. Like his final death was by
That doesn't change anything.
But is it any different than Gordon killing Galavan?
No. Gordon is also a piece of shit character.
That is true. Yeah, that doesn't make that better.
Dude.
And Gordon killed Gallivan in cold blood, where like Barbara shot Butch,
and
Butch
he
was
came
about
back
to kill her.
too. And then Butch killed him. And then Bruce,
It's all
Bruce
connected.
killed Ra's al Ghul. And then Barbara killed him.
Okay, Ra's al Ghul was going to commit genocide, so like I would say that's a justified murder on Barbara's part.
No, that is not why she killed him. You forget intent. You can't just block
her
out
intent was she was
because it's convenient.
But what I'm saying is, like, if
he's going to commit genocide. That makes it okay. It does not.
Okay, let's pretend that Harvey Dent is on the show. And no, he's not coming. I mean, I don't have any... This isn't a spoiler, any advance knowledge. Like, I don't know anything about Harvey Dent coming on the show. But, like, let's say you're Harvey Dent. You're a prosecutor. What would you feel like you had sufficient evidence to charge Barbara Kean for if you had her arrested?
Let's see, arms dealing. And... what was the other one? Theft. And
what did she steal?
Really?
And I'm asking honestly, what did she steal?
The knife?
I don't remember.
The knife for Ra's al Ghul?
Yeah, that's true. She did steal that. She stole a couple of things. Like they were like lady robbers for a while. God, there was another one, and I can't remember what it is. What else did she do? Obstruction of justice.
In what way?
I mean, everyone's done that, but yes.
Wow. In what way? Just watch the series.
I'm asking. Yes, I'm asking. In what way?
In every way. She just shows up. It's like, no!
She fired Robert Mueller.
Here now! It's my show!
But that's not obstruction of justice, being loud.
It is when you keep Jim from doing his job.
Okay. I'll give you.
Which is like every time she shows up in a scene with him where he's doing his job, she literally gets in his way.
So, and I'm not trying to make one point here or another. It's just kind of like one of what they call shower thoughts or fridge thoughts that you have where like you realize, yeah, Barbara is evil, but is she so far gone that like she and Jim, it would be like totally unrealistic to get them back together. And I still think it's going to be very, very hard if they...
Here's the thing about Jim, though.
To sell
Jim
them.
could basically be the next Darth Vader. That's what they've done with him. I'm not making a joke.
he wakes up like in like a full like black costume and he's like, Bullock, my home. Where is it? Is it all right? It appears that when Jeremiah set the bombs off, your home was
landlord
destroyed.
kicks you out.
No! No!
Not if Barbara's okay, not if Lee... He hasn't even mentioned Lee this entire time. Although they did break up at the end of the last
as far as
season.
he knows, she got off the... he thinks that they got off the island, or that she got off the island. He doesn't know that Nigma, like, stabbed her.
True.
And plus, they had, like,
And the
breakup
sexiest, like, murder scene I've ever seen.
And...
I would say murder-suicide, but they literally just...
Oh my gosh! I completely forgot that Nigma had a plot line this episode.
Oh yeah, with a tank, a character that was invented.
Hello? Sorry. I
Yeah.
missed everything after oh my gosh.
I forgot that that Nigma had like a plot line this episode. Like, oh yeah, he peed.
I didn't recall, and I'll tell you why later.
Yeah, we've been like talking about this episode, and I was even thinking like, man, after this Barbara thing, I think we're good to wrap up. Like, oh yeah, Nigma was in this. Whoops. Which, because to be honest, like the Nigma plotlines have been my least favorite like of the season so far. So
it just reads very similarly of
he had to beat up the same guy that he beat up the night before, and the guy's just sitting there. He's so done. He's just like, he is Dawn. He is the Dawn of this episode. Like the Riddler, like Ed beat him up in the first couple of seasons, and then put him in the bathroom, and then this season like opened up the thing. It's like, but what did I do the last 3 seasons? And then Donna's like,
are we
really?
doing this again? Yep.
Yeah, basically.
He's like,
done.
guess so.
It's done. But the reason I remember this is because it's one of the gripes. So the guy who was the leader of the Street Demons' name was Enrique, which is what? Latin. And then you had the whole Sugar Skull street gang, which was Latin coded if they weren't all actually Latin. And all of them died this episode. Like, Babs showed up in her car, gunned down the entire Latin street gang, dinged the white street gang across the street. That was it.
It's like in the last episode where, like, you know, there's like a black gang that got the weapons, and Penguin's like, "We'll be taking those." "Oh yeah, what are you gonna do about them?" Then they're like instantly just shot dead, and it's like that happened.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they're doing like some multicultural like representation. I just wish they wouldn't like just straight up murder them.
That's the thing too, because like also at the ending, it's like we were, you know, giving Gordon the credit for the Haven is like this like black or Latina woman with her children. Like, oh, thank you, Gordon. It's just a bad look. And I'm not saying that you can't ever do that, but like this show has one of the worst racial records I've ever seen in a modern show, and it's just like it keeps on happening.
And what else is there? This is what kills me, though. I was just
dead
sitting
woman
there
who's
like
just instantly shot in the face by our hero.
Yes, the Sugar Skulls were all taken out. They look badass as in my opinion. They looked amazing. And then they all get like wiped out. And then you have like these white, literal, we enslaved children people. The guy gets dinged in the leg.
Because we
after he shoots the Latina in the forehead, he dings the white guy in the leg. And I get it, like, in a way, the actor who was playing the white slave driver was also one of the actors that was in Daredevil.
Was he?
You remember him?
No.
Yeah, remember? He was working for Kingpin, and he killed himself on the spike in the alleyway.
Oh, that was in season 1, right? It's been a while.
Yeah, so it's the same actor, so I could see why they would give him priority. But I was all like, why isn't everyone else dead?
Yeah.
I don't know if they actually, but it looked like he shot him in the leg, honestly.
I mean, at this point, like I'm more like fatigued from it more than anything else. But it is still happening. It's just it absolutely is still happening, and now I don't foresee it anymore.
Yeah, it was just really sad to see.
And I don't have that much to say about the Enigma plotline. Although I do think it's funny that, like, if Oswald's being framed, they're doing it by, like, graffiti, Penguin was here, which is, like, the stupidest way to frame someone. Like,
yeah, he doesn't buy it for a second. I do think that, like, the whole Ed like, you know, what have I done? Who are you? That it at this point it feels way too familiar. And so it could be the same thing, but it feels like something we've done before.
yeah.
What feels like something we've done before?
This whole, like, oh no, I can't.
Him, you know,
I
yelling.
can't remember.
His split personality thing.
Yeah, they're like two completely separate. They're not the same. Like, this is really.
I don't say it's the same thing, but it feels too familiar to enjoy.
Unless you liked it in the first place, then you enjoy it again.
I'm looking at the comments on Reddit, because Reddit has, like, a live episode discussion where, like, people, like, post comments as the episode's airing, and someone said Selena is now a part of the reptile elite.
Nice.
Okay, so I do have to say, when they went into that one area, and then, like, where are all these people getting these costumes from? There's like, we could just drive through here. No, my God! And they scan out that people have got like mohawks and face paint.
They
Leather
drove
strap.
through the Joel Schumacher films.
Yeah, that woman was right out of Batman Forever.
Oh my God! Wait, what?
Like the what do you call it? Like the sugar thing face, the sugar cell.
Cameron Monaghan is playing a third character this season.
He's not. Someone took an interview thing out of context.
Okay.
Yeah. I can 100% promise you, based on stuff that I know, that is not happening. Somebody he said something in an interview, and people are taking it the wrong way. All right. So just some highlights from Reddit's live discussion. Let's see. Calling it out. At least some of these kids are going to be a Trojan horse for Bane. What?
I guess they didn't see the promo pictures for Bane.
Oh God, yeah.
Hold on. Is Bane going to be on that gas? Is that why he wasn't killed?
Wait, what?
Like in The Dark Knight Rises?
If you look when you watch the beginning of the episode, the guy's just breathe the gas and you'll have all the energy and you can see the future.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that was. Someone made a very good point. Why would a plant with human blood make her a cat?
That's my point. That's exactly my question. It's don't worry about it. It's comic books television, so it has to be stupid. But no, it's like that. I didn't see that coming for good reason because there's no reason it should happen.
I'm sorry, I keep laughing.
Someone put the cat eyes look really stupid. Did she just hiss at Harley Quinn because of the promo? Next week's episode, she's not dead. She has 8 lives left. And then someone said 7. Clone Bruce pushed her out a window, remember?
And then the cats bit her, remember?
Yeah.
That's why. She already got bit by cats. She had her Michelle Pfeiffer moment, and then the seed basically finished it.
So many of these comments are cat eyes.
That's
90%
right.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, that's it.
Cat.
Cameron Monaghan was bit by cats, right?
Yeah.
Nothing happened from that. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. She got pushed out the window, bitten by cats, and then Ivy brought her back with plants, and then the plants helped her body, and then this plant helped her finish.
And then she was in Killing Joke, and then she was brought back again by Ivy.
Someone put the sexual tension between Babs and Jim has never been higher.
There was sexual tension. It just looks like they were constipated.
More like the sexual tension between Jim and Harvey.
Besides being aged, I've never been more turned on.
When I'm running from a ghost.
Sexual tension between Jim and that.
Really? Really? Wow. Somebody said, I swear to God, if that skull chick is Lee, I'm going to lose it.
Lee, I thought you were Mario.
To be fair, isn't she Brazilian?
Yes.
When so it is a South American country.
After Gordon shoots her in the head, he wipes the makeup off of her forehead. He's like, wait, oh my gosh, what have I done? Lee, no, Bullock, how could you shoot her in the head right like that? What are you talking about, homeless cop? That was, you did it, Bullock. You killed my love.
Hold on, though.
A pregnant pause.
So, yeah, I was waiting for the thing to come back to make sure that you weren't talking anymore, because I got disconnected again. But a piece of paper slips out of her pocket, and it shows her real birth certificate. Her name is Lee Mario.
Oh, it never would have worked out anyway.
No big loss.
Someone said, I'm expecting Chris O'Donnell to drive up in the Batmobile.
I want a car. Chicks did the car.
What the heck? Another person said this? Someone said, is the painted face Lee? And then someone said, edit, it's definitely not Lee. Why do so many people think that that's Marina McCarran?
All brown people look alike. I don't know.
Gordon must finish off the Falcone family.
Oh.
Of which he
what
is.
The heck?
More of that?
I cannot believe this. Someone said, wow, Lee, nice timing. I think it's her. Edit. Guess not.
Is it racist to assume that that's Marina McCarran?
There's 3 separate people in this Reddit thread.
That never occurred to me because not even Gotham's that dumb.
She doesn't look anything like her.
Like Gordon wouldn't recognize his twice times fiance. Well, they were only engaged, but you know what I mean. Like, the sea is behind on the times. Unlocking the darker side of somebody was 2 seasons ago. Nice.
It's true. It's true.
All right, let me look at a few more highlights, and then we'll just do the promo for next week. Penguin, our hero, where everything will be all right always. The costume shop was all out of gas mask, so it was either this or Sexy Nurse. Wait, what?
Yeah, Bullock said that.
I forgot. I want to see Bullock as a Sexy Nurse.
Because he said, why would you be a cop in Gotham at this time? And he said, well, the costume shop was all out of gas masks, so it was either cop or Sexy Nurse, basically. I'm surprised you didn't remember that. That was a great line.
Bruce, wow, Ivy killed all those people. Also, Bruce, I trust her to help.
It's true, though.
One day saying GCPD isn't going to yield any results, and Jim know what to do with
That's the winning post.
That is a good one.
Oh, fun! It's the epilepsy challenge.
Oh God, yeah. Did they put an epilepsy warning at the beginning? They didn't even put an epilepsy warning at the beginning of that. The flashy lights. You're just gonna go to sleep or die.
And the kid's like, you won't feel a thing, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure you still will. Like, even if she stabs you and you're unconscious, like, you're gonna feel it. He's ignorant, but
He's
whatever.
A child.
Mother probably lied to him. Like, oh, they don't feel a thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, in the little haunted house. That's right.
Are these kids evil? Because there has to be a twist coming. Because that was just way too simple. Who puts a mirror in front of the toilet? Yeah.
Wait, where's the mirror in front of the toilet?
When Nigma was peeing.
Oh, yeah, some places are like that, and then other places, it's like if you sit down and you close the door, the mirror's right there, and you just wash yourself, use the bathroom. I've been in houses like that. It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
I was like, I don't want to wash myself, do my stuff. I'm not going to pee in this house anymore.
And then it said, quiet. The mirror can talk.
A lot of people are joking about Arrow because of the arrows that people shot at Jim. So there's a lot of Jim Gordon, you have failed this city. All right.
Technically. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's not wrong. Next week's episode is called Penguin, Our Hero. Let me just make sure I'm on the right listing. Okay, yeah. Penguin, Our Hero. With the creation of the Haven as a safe place for refugees, Gordon hopes to stop the gang fight in Gotham. Meanwhile, Selina is determined to find Jeremiah, and she convinces Bruce to help her. Then, Penguin goes to the Haven to reclaim his staff in the all-new Penguin, Our Hero, with guest stars Andrew Salon as Mr. Penn, and, get ready, Jan, J.W. Cortez as Alvarez.
Oh, he's still alive!
No matter what the show does to him.
I'm so excited. I'm way more excited than I should be, but I'm excited. I hope he has interactions with Selina. He probably won't. But
he recently said on Twitter, does anyone know the connection between Selina and Alvarez from the comics? I was like,
he started off in her own series.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's why I told you guys this. That's why I'm excited about him still being around.
You did, because I totally forgot that he was that character.
Hunter Jones is Will Thomas. That's the little boy from who's getting the checkup at the beginning. And Jamie Murray as Walker, which is the woman that Gordon talks to on the radio sometimes. So,
ooh, Jamie Murray. Don's yeah.
Whoa! Again? We just had Tabitha off the show. Damn it, Don.
No, you know, Dawn is just going to be the next Catwoman.
Mm-hmm.
Just recast me.
It's been
remember
teased.
because Nova falls into a sewer after being touched by someone, and then comes back as Dawn in a cat suit.
Baby turtles.
I honestly think this is the least coherent episode we've ever done.
It's what the less we have to talk about in an episode, like the less coherent it is. Like there was an episode where like I think it was like the Lucius versus Penguin or Riddler or something, where like we were talking about like Aladdin by the end, and I was like, "How many times must I kill you, boy?" And you laughed so hard, you said, "That's it. That's the episode. We have nowhere else to go from here." And we ended it.
Well, it's not nearly as bad as when we did the season 4 first episode, and then we just dissolved into like killing Mario jokes for like an hour.
Dissolved is the word.
I love the Jebediah jokes. Like I'm gonna go to bed like later thinking of like so many of them. Like, Any thoughts on the promo for Penguin, our hero?
Where's Penguin in it?
In the promo or in the episode?
In the promo.
He's filming it. He's the narrator. I bet you're wondering how I got this way. Well, it all started.
I watched the promo and like literally all I remember right now is a whole bunch of Selena and Harley and Bruce and Jeremiah, and then Selena and Harley, and then Bruce and Selena. That's all I remember. I don't remember Penguin being in it at all. And then I checked the title and I was all like, let me rewatch this. And I still didn't see Penguin.
Screeners are out there, so I will tell you Penguin is in it. And he plays a role. So, and he has a song. He doesn't sing, but like people sing to him.
Just like his dad did? Oh wait, no, he sang to his dad, or he sang with his dad?
Or like
Paul Rubin in that one episode?
Yeah, I know what you mean. No, like when Penguin like gets up in the morning, like his staff like waits outside his door and they like sing for him. He like makes them do that.
I mean, look, if I can ride across the desert in a monster truck and have some guy play a guitar with me that shoots flames, like huge speakers behind him, so that I could have like some battle music, you can have guys like, sing him to him more. Is the Fury Road thing lost on you?
Yeah, apparently. But that's okay.
Have you seen Fury Road?
I have, yeah.
So, until next time, this is Josh.
This is Don.
This is Jan.
And you've been listening to the Gotham Chronicle podcast. I could open this episode with that Cameron Monaghan clip from Twitter from when I met him a few days ago. I should do that.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
I didn't know he was going to be there because like they like sent the list of all the people that were going to be there, and I was like, oh man, no Cameron Monaghan. And then like he showed up, but he couldn't say because he had like another premiere like across town for like a different movie, so he like was there for like maybe And I was like one of the last people that got to interview him, and like his publicist was like, you can only do 2 questions, and like because this was a Gary thing, so like you can't ask about like stuff that doesn't have to do with the movie. But like when Gary like wasn't looking, I was like, do you have any message for the Gotham fans? And he like gave like a like 10-second message. Thank you, Gotham fans, so much for giving us the 5th season. And like I put it on Twitter, and it's like one of like the most retweeted things I've ever posted.
Oh, that's very nice.
No Man's Land, day 525,600 minutes. Okay, that intro sucks.
Are you just about to do like the whole Red song?
December 24th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. From here on in, I shoot without a script. I used to love.
He's that character.
What? I don't get the reference.
Oh, that's like the first song from Brent. The first song of the story proper after like Seasons of Love. Like, there's Anthony Rapp, the guy that Kevin Spacey
Anthony Rapp
have sex with. Yeah. He like.
Rapp.
Yeah, he does this like narration like song because he's like making a film, and I just did it. That makes it okay. Anyway, a proper intro.
Okay, cool. I was very confused for like half a second. I was like, but why would you do that?
He's playing Harley Quinn.
We did it. We killed Jeremiah. Aren't you forgetting someone? What? Who are you? I am Jeremiah and Jerome's triplet brother. You can call me Jason.
Jebediah.
Betrayal.
And he's a hipster.
You're even more crazy than your brother was.
This is my homebrewed kombucha.
Wow, Bruce, you gave Selena a plant. You should even her essential oils.
Oh, that is wrong. That is wrong. No, you don't understand. I'm picturing like one of those memes where it's all like polio, measles, or whatever, the Black Plague, and then they just pick up like the little seed that Poison Ivy had. Natural.
Essential. Jim, they said that the killer had a man bun in his hair. It must be Jebediah out of Arkham.
Jebediah Valeska.
What a stupid ass name.
You're like mad at the show for something that we just made up. Like you're like,
well, no, but it's like we gotta stop Jebediah. It's like how about you call him not that?
if Gotham gets renewed for like 3 more seasons, like, oh, That's right, Bruce. I'm going to destroy the city, but first, let me take a selfie. Oh my God, he's live tweeting the murder.
Who is the victim? We can't tell through the Snapchat filters.
Oh.
Oh my God. I just picture him with a dog and he opens his mouth. People still use that for some reason.
Wait a minute. He's like looking through the filters and he edits out like the dog thing. Like, oh my gosh, it's Jebediah. I should have known. The only criminal who still uses Snapchat.
Not Snap, just that Snapchat. Oh my gosh. This is the one where you do the face swap? Oh, that's dark.
Jen is losing it tonight.
I literally just picturing him laying next to the body or propping it up and doing the face swap.
I have a whole bunch of jokes, but half of them I'm like, nope, I'm not using that one. Too political.
And then and then he uses the
offensive.
location feature.
Yeah,
and then he sends it. It's this is where the body
I've been
is.
searching all over town. Where's Jebediah? Jim, just check his social media. He geotagged himself. Oh, Jebediah just checked in at the GCPD headquarters. Wait, that's here. Ah! Check the coffee machines.
He broke into your home, not the locker room.
Oh, God.
That's the only home I have.
This whole Jebediah thing is so stupid.
He's been after Selena ever since she ate his emotional support goldfish.
You mean bird?
That was funny.
The canary or the fish?
Emotional support goldfish.
Because I'm literally just picturing her turning into Michelle Pfeiffer at this point.
Yeah, for real.
Which she actually is.
Did Michelle Pfeiffer's Oswald cat in Batman Returns? I'm trying to remember.
No. That only happened in Tiger, the animated.
Ah, okay.
I can do a whole podcast on like Jebediah. Like,
that's what we're gonna do after the series is over. We're just gonna do like.
Let's just keep on doing the podcast every week and make up episodes, and then like listeners will be like, "Wow, I didn't know."
We could actually turn it into like a podcast series.
Yeah, like
it's a parody.
Yeah.
You can sound edit things in, and
yeah, this season, Bullock, goes out for Thai food, but he gets like stopped by Jebediah.
Oh God! And then someone will stumble.
I'm completely bled out of this episode, guys.
If I really wanted to go daring, I would do like a fourth like Valeska brother, and he's like a redneck.
Oh
like,
God!
He's like a NASCAR fan, and like he's got a mullet.
Version of the U.S.
Say what?
I said Jebediah would be a good redneck name, though.
But that's the point. It's ironic. He has the name Jebediah because it's ironic, because it's the opposite of who he is, just like millennials, being
well,
all
we'll just
like...
call him Jehoshaphat, then.
We got us on Jehoshaphat. He's taking all the jumping jacks in the store. Jumping Jehoshaphat.
He stole 40 cakes.
Bullock is like, Jim, you ever think about retiring before we run out of Valeska Brothers? We'll never run out of Valeska Brothers, and that's why I want to retire.
Get your head in the game, Bullock.